What is happening, Internet? Welcome to the finale of Halo Combat Evolved. Campaign Evolved. This is the remake of the OG Halo from 2001. Of course, this is Xbox's version for 2026. Yesterday was primarily a series with Starship Troopers. We're getting there. And I announced my return over on the O1 channel, starting with the continuation of more, I guess you would say, the Batman uploads from last year. And some other stuff, like discussing like Batman, the animated series, and some other stuff. And of course, talking about how I'm going to be deconstructing all the crazy stuff involved with the Batman Part 2 and how really bad it is that they've been taking their sweet time with this movie and that no one really cares anymore. This is how to make streams go faster. Yes, it is. Basically, super chats help views accumulate faster, whereas if we just go by our own Steam, you know, it takes a while. As well as YouTube takes notice of super chats and memberships, and it helps improve stream quality. I'm not sure why, but it just does. Why are you not letting me do this? Concerning. Let's try this again, because this is being dumb. Go. Go. Interesting. I really want to do the finale of this so we can move on to something else. Also, when Amber is streaming or the music is running, I will be working in the office, so I will be able to see you guys, because I can pop in and chat with you on the chat window. But I will be doing smarter YouTube content going forward, so I don't have a heart attack like last year. Come on! Loading settings, resume, thank you. Thank you so much. Amber might be taking a nap, or she could be wherever. I will text her. Because when you have the door closed in the bedroom, it's kind of hard to know that, you know, you can't really hear anything. I'm live. Feel free to join. Anytime. Oops. Any time. Okay. Okay, so we are VR. We need to stop the captain now. And somebody said, you skipped all that content. I did skip a lot of content in-game because I was trying to rush through the game. Because I don't like the flood, and I don't like, I don't like getting stuck, as well as I thought yesterday I could kind of finish this game up pretty easily, but apparently not. So, just like SAO, I'm literally running through the game to finish it so that I am completely open for a marathon of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls this Tuesday. I need to free my schedule up. I got 2 games to finish, Halo and SAO. Oh, that's a problem. One sec. Can I shoot through there to kind of clear the way? No, wait. Let's back up. Back up the crazy train. Back here. No. Why would you put it right there in front of the door again? Oh, whatever. Stop that.
Yes, a new member.
Hello, how's it going, gang? Oh, that's just great. And ragdoll physics. Blah. Caught up with the Crimson Maid overnight. Your voice acting was dope. I can't wait to see where the game goes once you go to the basement level. I mean, if an Ultimate wants to take over that series, that's a weird series, man. I was just, like, basically... I saw the game on PlayStation, and it was like... what was it, $8 or something like that, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm not going to get 1,000 views, it's not going to be a series, I just need something to fill the gap, and I would much, looking back, I kind of wish that I did one of those cooking sim games, but the problem with those cooking sim games is they use royalty-free music, and the royalty-free music gets nasty copyright claims now, so if I buy a $2 game and I don't get a super chat for it, 9 times out of 10 now it gets claimed by the royalty-free music generator people. Now, it's harder to claim AI music because, you know, anybody can say, well, I generated that, and there's no way of knowing if it's legit or not, so YouTube can't really do any, like, nasty copyright claims with AI or generative music, which is why, you know, we do generative stuff with our startup music so we don't have to deal with any copyright headaches. We used to use royalty-free music, we used to use music composed by viewers and all kinds of stuff, and then they all got, like, you know, I want more money and all this other stuff, so. Whereas before we used to pay composers for the exclusive rights to their songs indefinitely, and then over time they got greedy and they're like, I want thousands of dollars now. It's like, no, not happening. So, that's why we do what we do. It sucks, but that's the way the world is. People are very, very greedy. But with computer-generated stuff, well, I mean, no one can really claim it. So YouTube can't do anything legally. Websites can't do anything legally because it's not real. So there's a lot of peace of mind for me, you know, to run that stuff and then just erase it when I'm done with it. Because it doesn't matter. Then I don't have to worry about, like, you know, people getting greedy on me. Especially when we already paid them. That's the thing I don't like about humans is humans have a lot of greed. You know, they're cool with something one time, and then as time goes on, they're like, no, this isn't right. You need to keep paying me every time you use my song. It's like, screw you. No. It doesn't work that way. That's not how a license agreement works. So. But anyway, that game was really freaky, and I did not sleep well because it's literally demonic. And, you know, I thought some of the blasphemy stuff was a little bit too far. I know they were making fun of Catholics, but I don't like playing I don't like playing games that adamantly mock God, because it's like, I don't feel like getting struck by lightning. When I started the game, it was all sweet and innocent, and it was a little risky. But when it became very blasphemous and other things, it's like, I had no idea, God, my bad. But I'm not gonna dip my toes in that again, especially when they started getting to Satan stuff. I was like, wow, you're literally gonna invoke the name of the devil. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not sleeping tonight. But I did. I'm glad that people liked my voice acting. I'm practicing for a narration job. They were looking for a British narrator voice. So I was messing around with different voices to try to get used to talking for hours and hours. And I think I did a British voice the whole time last night. So about like 4 hours of talking like a Brit, which was kind of fun. And, you know, I was getting used to it and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't have problems with fantasy games, but when you start invoking the name of, like, real religions and real demonic entities and the names of demons, I'm out. Like, that's why I like fantasy games where they just make up stuff. But when you actually make things based on biblical, like, monsters and things like that, yeah, I can't do that. Because one thing Kwing don't do is I don't mess with the occult. I don't like the occult, and I don't mess with it. I know it exists, and I stay far away from it. So when that gets too close to home, it's like, yep, peace, I'm out. It was fun while it lasted, and then it got weird. And had I known it from the beginning, I probably wouldn't have looked at it. But I had no way of knowing, because there wasn't a lot of information about the game now. But that's not fantasy when you start messing with real-world stuff. That's, you know, that's like playing with a Ouija board. Would not recommend it. But I appreciate people saying they liked my voice acting. If you want to watch it, you can watch it as a members only video. I'll keep it up there. It is rated M, and it does have some spicy stuff, but I tried to censor it as much as possible. It's hard to keep track of all the stuff they put in games, especially for indie developers. Indie developers really push the envelope with stuff, because that's how they get people to buy their game. I thought the story was interesting, and I guess I called it that she's a ghost or whatever. Kind of makes sense if she's like a shapeshifter. She can transform into things like birds and men and other women and stuff like that. But some of the things she says is pretty freaky, so it's like, most likely she's a demon or a demon entity. And it's like, I can't condone that. It goes against my religion. I can't root for the bad team. Unless I want to go to hell. And I don't, so. But I don't want to get into it any further than that, because we're playing Halo. And I'm playing Halo pretty badly. I have hardly any weapons. I like the snow. But I don't have any means to really fight back right now, that's the most terrifying thing about survival games, is you don't have the means to really survive. I've got 43% ammo. I might get lucky and pick up somebody's, you know, weapon as they're on the ground, like this gentleman. And more bug people. Bug people love me. They love rocket launchers, though. Oh, wow, I got 10 shots left with a shotgun. Who knew? Well, that didn't do anything. I do like how the opposing forces are fighting each other. The weird mutant bugs versus the alien clones. Long-necked, creepy aliens. Whatever they're called, I don't know. They're not called the Reach, are they? What is the name of the enemies that you fight that are not the Flood? They're not called Reach, are they? Oh yeah, no, I know that the music that they play in the in that British drama, it's all classical music. So sometimes you can, you know, I don't think I got hit with any copyright claims, but sometimes they can, like, it depends what orchestra is currently playing the song. Yeah, so with orchestra music, you have to be careful. Or not orchestra music, excuse me, classical music in general. Even though it's supposed to be royalty-free because it's so old, sometimes certain orchestras, like, they'll put a claim to that song and then you'll get hit with copyright. Be like, wait, how can you copyright Mozart? It's like, oh, I didn't realize that they had a 100-year license exclusive to this song. It's like, can they do that? I guess so.
Sometimes it's a certain range, or like their production, they can tell their.
Well, no, I mean, the music from the game was basically somebody playing on piano, but they can still, yeah, they can still claim copyright.
Yeah, I agree. I guess that
No, it's not the guy who played it. I don't really understand how it works. I always thought I was safe, like, putting classical music in some of my videos, but after a certain time frame, they're like, yeah, no, you can't do that anymore. I was like, oh, that's too bad. Because I personally love classical music.
I got links.
Thank you. Yeah. I need to trim my Obi-Wan beard. Well, I texted you and said that you're welcome to join whenever you want. I did. What exactly do you want me to be doing, game? Destroy the conduits of each pillar. Whoa, I didn't want to go that far down. That's a problem. This thing is really hard to steer. Can't tell if that worked or not. Nope, that thing is still alive. I don't know what you mean by clean. You mean do the... Oh. The only thing I would need help with is finishing the, doing more of the I know the launch.
It's drying, and I need to put it in the drawer.
Do we get it?
I know what you're gonna say. You want me to put it
Just part of it. I know you are. That's why I said a little a day makes the process go much faster than not at all. Why are they saying go forward? Go forward where? Checkpoint is done from blowing that up? What? Weird. Okay, that's not cool. Blow him up, blow him up. Did I get big man? Wow, that's irritating. Alright, there you go. What'd I get? Achievement unlocked. Bad gas. What does that mean? And this is not the way? Man, so many spiders. Well, this ship has seen better days. Excuse you? Yeah, that's what you get. Check one is done. Why are you telling me to go back here? Oh. Okay. One sec. My vehicle is having some serious issues here. Ah, he flew really high. Okay. Out of my way, you stupid drones. Hello. Where have you been all my life? Yeah, that's what I wanted. Thank you. Alright. Here we go. Why do we have kill with fire? Why are there so many spiders? I don't know. I've never seen this many spiders. Even as a kid, when I lived in upstate New York, and we lived in an old farmhouse. Probably because this place was abandoned when they renovated it. I don't know. I can't tell you because I have no idea. I did have fun setting up the, apparently I had an Elgato 60 Plus S, which, that's good because that Elgato has no time delay. So when I start working on Steam Deck in my office again, starting tomorrow,
one target remaining. Let's take care of the final pulse.
That'd be kind of nice. My plan is to work smarter, not harder. And when Amber is working, or when there's music going, I have the ability to work very easily on projects in the office without staying up to ungodly hours of the night, which is how I got a heart attack. It's because I was overworking myself
Final target neutralized.
by an
Let's get
insane
at it.
degree.
Let's find a ride and get to the captain.
No, that'll take too long.
You have a better idea?
There's a teleportation grid that runs throughout Halo. That's how the monitor moves about so quickly. I learned how to tap into the grid when I was in the control center. Unfortunately, each jump requires a rather consequential expenditure of energy.
Something tells me I'm not gonna like this.
I'm pretty sure I can pull it from your suit without permanently damaging your shields. Needless to say, I think we should only try this once.
Do it.
Double trouble.
The Covenant network is absolute chaos. From what I've been able to piece together, their leadership ordered all ships to abandon Halo when they found the Flood, but they were too late. The Flood overwhelmed this cruiser and disabled it. The Covenant are terrified the Flood will repair this ship and use it to escape from Halo. They've sent in a strike team to neutralize the Flood and repair the ship for immediate departure. I've got a lock on Captain Key's CNI transponder signal. He's alive and the implants are intact. There's some interference from the cruiser's damaged reactor. Oh, I see. The coordinate data needs to be... Right. Sorry.
Little humor there. Alright, so we're on top of the Covenant ship, and it's overwhelmed
I'm
by
reading the
flood.
captain's transponder. He's in the control room. But I'm not detecting any human life signs.
Ugh.
Chief, don't be a fool. Leave me.
Captain? Captain! I've lost him.
I don't remember the reason why, why the AI ends up betraying Master Chief. I don't remember what game that is. I saved your life, be nice to me. Ugh. So many aliens. Good. Alright, so we got 2 decent guns thus far. Right. That's a shield thingy. Okay. Probably be important later on. The thing I need help with is a little direction thing. Little AI friend is not being nice to me and pointing me in the right direction. You don't look so hot. Okay, maybe we're supposed to go down this corridor. I don't remember the sparks from there before. This looks new.
Analyzing damage. This hole was caused by some kind of explosive. Very powerful if it tore through the ship's hull. All I detect down there are pools of coolant.
I don't think I can make it down there.
Warning, threat level increasing. That jump into the coolant is looking better all the time, Chief. Trust me. The crash did more damage than I suspected. Analyzing. Coolant leakage rate is significant. The ship's reactors should already have gone critical. We should head this way towards the ship's gravity lift.
Well, shouldn't we just let the ship get out then? If the ship's gonna blow up, just let it take off. Problem solved. Right?
I gave you an order, Spartan. Now pull out.
He's delirious, in pain. We have to find him.
That's a good fight, Covenant people. Being attacked by spiders of the size of your hand. Ugh. Wait, I got... crap. Well, that didn't work.
The crash did more damage than I suspected. Analyzing. Coolant leakage rate is significant. The ship's reactors should already have gone critical. We should head this way towards the ship's gravity lift.
Blasphemous rounds incoming. I gave you an order, Spartan. Now pull out.
He's delirious, in pain. We have to find him.
Ooh, I'm camouflaged. Oop! Never mind. I mean, I got rid of the threat, but also got rid of me.
The crash did more damage than I suspected.
Gotta do it again.
Analyzing. Coolant leakage rate is significant. The ship's reactors should already have gone critical. We should head this way towards the ship's gravity lift.
Fire on me! Lead the fire up! I gave you an order, Spartan. Now pull out.
He's delirious, in pain. We have to find him.
Working on it. Great, they saw me. Lovely! Alright, I have no choice but to blow those fools up. You forgot the captain
He's delirious.
is...
We have to find him.
I forgot the captain is what now? How long does this shield last, anyway? Oh, nuts. But I didn't throw a grenade!
He's delirious, in pain. We have to find him. Wait, the Covenant and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they've worn each other down. Then we'll only have to
Don't
deal
mind
with the
me.
stragglers.
Oh, this is not the right way. Can't mind me. Oh, come on, I
delirious.
finally got
Pain.
past that
We have to
part.
find him.
Only to die at the next part. Lovely. Okay, let's not
Wait,
reanimate
The
corpses,
Covenant
okay?
and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they've worn each other down. Then we'll only have to deal with the stragglers.
Checkpoint. Or not. I still don't like any of this scum. No gear of war a day? What about Gear of Door? What?
He's
I'm
delirious,
sorry, can you
in
repeat
pain.
that? Oh,
We have to
crap.
find him.
This game is being very, very mean.
Wait, the Covenant and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they've worn each other down. Then we'll only have to deal with the stragglers.
Please no. Please no! I'm almost to the checkpoint, curse you! No! Son of a...
He's delirious, in pain. We have to find him.
I don't like you.
Wait, the Covenant and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they've worn each other down.
Mean.
Then we'll only have to deal with the stragglers. He's delirious, in pain. We have to find him.
Why did I fight my way to the gravity lift? It's suicide.
Wait, the Covenant and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they've worn each other down. Then we'll only have to deal with the stragglers. delirious, in pain. We have to find him. Wait, the Covenant and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they've worn each other down. Then we'll only have to deal with the stragglers.
Great, I'm reloading. I'm hosed. No, you gotta give me the checkpoint! There's no freaking way! Impossible!
He's delirious, in pain. We have to find him. Wait, the Covenant and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they've worn each other down. Then we'll only have to deal with the stragglers. He's delirious, in pain. We have to find him.
Wow, there's gonna be a lot of editing out of this stream. I refuse to lower the difficulty. I will not.
Wait, the Covenant and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they've worn each other down. Then we'll only have to deal with the stragglers.
What just happened? Happy August? Yeah, today's August.
He's delirious, in pain. We have to find him. Wait, the Covenant and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they've worn each other down. Then we'll only have to deal with the stragglers.
I hate you.
He's delirious, in pain. We have to find him. Wait, the Covenant and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they've worn each other down. Then we'll only have to deal with the stragglers.
up that stupid hill. Too many enemies. Too many enemies. My thing about running through it was the smartest thing I could do. You can't fight all those enemies.
Pain. We have to find him. Wait, the Covenant and Flood are attacking each other. I recommend we wait until they worn each other down. Then we'll only have to deal with the stragglers.
I don't think they're actually gonna kill each other, though. They just all look like they're shooting at me. There's no change. There's still the same amount of guys down there. Same amount of guys.
Look out! The infidels surround us! Under fire! Heretics attack!
Oh, that was a waste. Like unlimited guys to me. And they keep coming back because they have tons of corpses. Yep. No, no, no. No! No! Ah! Gah! Oh, finally they were nice to me. I think. Yeah. Wow. Huh? Well, this is fun. Not. Where'd you come from? Running is your best option because they can keep respawning. There's too many. Way. Man, this level's annoying.
Power source detected. There's the gravity lift. It's still operational. That's our way back in. The captain! His vitals are fading. Please, Chief, hurry!
no idea where I'm going, AI lady.
I will tear them apart for the Prophet!
How am I supposed to use this thing? Is there a way for me to use that, or no?
Power source detected. There's the gravity lift. It's still operational. That's our way back in. The captain! His vitals are fading. Please, Chief, hurry!
Ah! I don't like how they just keep coming. Yeah, that was stupid.
Power source detected. There's the gravity lift. It's still operational. That's our way back in. The captain! His vitals are fading. Please, Chief, hurry!
Yeah, but I got to the lift. You didn't let me use it once I was inside of it. See? I'm inside of it. You won't let me leave.
We should be able to get into the ship's control room from here.
Irritating. Of course. Why wouldn't I be out of ammo? Makes perfect sense.
The Covenant BattleNet is a mess. I can't access the ship's schematics. My records indicate that a shuttle bay should be here.
Freaking terrifying. Get away from me. Now would be good.
Look, in the corners. The Flood are gathering bodies here.
The memories. They're not mine. I must hold on.
Hmm?
Oh,
Nice sweet pea.
I'm probably gonna do my
Wait, where are you gonna do that?
at the bottom of the stairs.
That makes sense.
No,
No, I didn't.
more purpley rooms.
Yay, purple one.
I like the decorating technique of the aliens. I would actually live here. I like the purple. Looks better than the all gray of the humans.
Yeah, it does have a little bit more color.
Tell me about it.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Happy August, Luke.
Happy August. Oh yeah, I have to make a August playlist.
Oh yeah, that was helping us a little bit, or it is.
I don't know.
I thought it was helping us.
Find out if doing uploads helps. I'm gonna get some uploads done this week. Get my editing software tomorrow.
Oh, you saw 3 Superman movies today, Zach? Oh wow.
3 Superman movies?
What movies did you see? And then I had some pizza, said Zach. Awesome. Sounds like a good Saturday. You said, what do you need to do tomorrow, Luke? Your software?
Yeah, my editing software is coming tomorrow. Because I couldn't buy it digitally because... reasons.
I know. You can't nuke this ship because your captain is here, Luke. LOL, says Mage Wolf.
Nuke it anyway.
Laughing face.
Who needs him?
Luke, it's your captain.
Doesn't matter, he's probably turning into an alien monster if I remember correctly.
Mage Wolf did this spider thingy. Spider Nightbot says kill it with fire. I don't know what Luke's gonna do after this.
Either Sonic or SAO or SAO tomorrow. Finale of Halo is today. This is the last time I'm playing Halo, so.
Well, is this the end of the game?
This is the end of the game if I can get past this part. The flood is really annoying, Amber.
Sorry.
Dang it! You want to know the problem with the flood? They just keep coming, and they keep resurrecting corpses. It puts you in this endless stalemate. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. It's so irritating.
Necromancy for
Kind of.
this revival. They just come back
Just
to life.
keep coming back.
They're like zombies.
And even if I kill the corpses, those little aliens still bite at you, and then they send... That happens.
Sorry, Luke. Okay, Jotaro is saying you might not be able to do Tokan until the 6th because it has a universal release time because of the online servers. Okay, thanks Jotaro for letting us know. We'll look into that. Thank you. Hi guys and girls, hi Kiki PJ, hi Tim, Sonic Boom, hi Mage Wolf, hello Jack, A66, hi Blues Cat. What's an awesome game without little or a good amount of humor? Plenty, says Blues Cat. Hey Jotaro, hi Loud Boys, hi everyone, hi Alpha Faith, hello Ahmad Rafi, hi Shadow Trooper, hi Jotaro, hi Tim Reed, hello Jack, and hi YouTube Gaming with Zach. I hope you enjoyed your Superman movies, Zach. And I was gonna do Marvel Rivals today, guys, but I kind of got started late, and I wanted to make sure this video got up by like started by 2:45. So sorry about that. I'm gonna try my best to do some kind of stream tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do either Marvel Rivals or Disney Speedstorm tomorrow, so I can play with people. Sorry, Luke and I have kind of been in crisis mode recently with the channel. Because we still haven't gotten our software working, and it's just been difficult. Sorry about that. It's been an interesting and slightly odd day, Jotaro. That sums it up for me every day. And for Link. Every day is an odd day with Link.
It's...
really cute. So did you enjoy playing the game through? Or?
This?
Yeah. Not really. It's kind of gross.
Mixed feelings. I remember the flood being annoying, but I don't remember the flood being this irritating. Because they didn't have the graphical engine to have this many enemies. It's pretty irritating.
I feel like Cortana really wasn't very much in this. Like her voice, but you hardly see her at all.
And you could hardly see her in the original either.
Oh, I
She
didn't
was
know
only
that.
in cutscenes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I never played the original.
Looks like another shuttle bay. We should be able to reach the control room from the 3rd level.
Heretics! Taking copy!
You think they did a good job with the remake, Luke, or?
Do I think they did a good job with the remake? I just told you what I don't like.
Oh, sorry, I kind of missed that. What was it again you didn't like? I'm sorry.
I don't like the constant flood enemies. They overwhelm you.
Is that what it was like in the original?
No.
Oh.
You couldn't have this many enemies in the original. Didn't have the processing power for it.
Oh wow.
They kept adding more enemies as the consoles got bigger and bigger. So PS3 was able to add more enemy types and, you know, massive groups of enemies, and then PS5 and all that stuff. Also, it was easier to see enemies too.
Oh wow. Oh wow. You had a doctor's. Oh, you found out from your doctor that you have this condition where your body is like permanently on. It feels like your body's permanently on painkillers. Oh my gosh, Jotaro. Sorry to hear that. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry, Luke. What was the last thing you said that you didn't like about the game? I'm sorry. You said you don't like the flood enemies. How many there are, and they keep coming at you. And then you said one more thing. I'm sorry.
What I don't like about this game is there's too many enemies. Not enough ammo, too many enemies.
Yeah, they're adding more enemies, but the difficulty is still the same. Or...
No, the difficulty would be more because there's more enemies.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They should have made it.
I didn't have any problems playing the first Halo game.
Yeah.
Relatively easy.
So they added too many enemies for the amount of ammo that you have.
Yep.
Has anyone played it through, or?
Of course they have.
Oh.
But they're used to FPS games. I don't play a lot of FPS.
I really appreciate you playing this for me. I'm sorry I wanted you to play it. I think it looks cool, but I'm sorry it was so like.
I play a new FPS game every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Does Nathan Drake count as an FPS game?
No.
Oh.
That's a third-person perspective adventure game.
It's kind of. I feel like it's really like an FPS game.
No, honey. First-person shooter is FPS.
Oh.
This is an FPS.
Oh. Okay. The nails are getting so long. Oh, Jack says the new voice for Sergeant Johnson, he's good in some areas, but that cutscene where the flood gets introduced, he should have been way more sarcastic. Oh.
Yeah, the voice acting isn't the best in the Halo remake or Star Fox remake. It lacks a lot of what they lacked in graphical abilities. They made up for in, you know, dramatic voice acting. Like most of the time, both in Star Fox and in Halo remake, people don't really sound like it's life or death. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? The delivery is very dry. Like in the 2000s gaming, we didn't have the best graphics, right? But the voice acting was always like top notch. And it was kind of cheesy too. It
Yeah.
added to the overall ridiculousness of the game.
Yeah.
And that's what Halo and Star Fox are both missing. Is they both, the way they do their voice acting, it's like sometimes they do the delivery, you know, okay, and other times they phone it in. Even when people die in this game, like other humans and stuff, it's just, you don't feel for them because they're just say things like, ugh.
Oh, right, because the voice acting isn't.
It reminds me when they started using voice acting in the early 90s, and like voice actors were just kind of like, I'm going this way, follow after me. Oh no! Yeah, things like that. You know, because it was new technology, so they were trying to incorporate voices and stuff. It didn't. It was funny because it sounded so bad and the acting was so bad. Yeah, that's pretty much what Star Fox and this game are like.
Shadow Troopers wondering, are there more? So wouldn't there be? Is there more? Like ammo pickups, since there's so many more enemies, you could pick up more ammo.
Not really.
I don't think all of them have ammo pickups. Like, not every enemy has ammo that they drop. Maybe they do, I don't know. But still, it's like you can't always take time to bend down and pick it up because there's a bunch of enemies surrounding you. I don't know. I'm not really trying to say that. I keep forgetting to get things done.
It's okay, sweet pea.
No, it's not. Oh, you sent a message back? Okay. Okay, Tim. Well, I'll try to download Instant Messenger and get back to you when I can. Thank you so much. Well, thanks for sending that information, and we appreciate you and your mom worrying about Luke, and that's very sweet. Oh, I see, Jotaro. So if you have any pain that you can actually feel, you know it's like really bad because it must be, usually you can't feel pain. Wow.
I wish I had that.
Yeah, Luke has the opposite of that, Jotaro.
I feel pain all the time.
He feels pain 24/7.
The reason why I became so grumpy over the past 10 years is the neuropathy is really painful. So my voice reflects that I'm in pain a lot. Because I am in pain. Even when I'm having a good day, I still feel lousy.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, thanks Shadow Trooper for the tip of trying to find more ammo on the people that fall, or the aliens. Thank you, Shadow Trooper. It's better than nothing, says Shadow Trooper. Yeah, it's better than nothing. That's true.
I'm not a big Xbox person, honey.
I wanted to see the game.
I know you wanted to see the game, and that's why I did it.
Wife request.
Wife request, yep. Because, you know, you're allowed to do those things, so... And we need to really figure out what we're going to be doing in August, though, because the Marvel Tokon thing is only going to last a week. That better not be the only thing coming out in August, or we're going to be in big trouble like we were in July. Also, we need to record more of Naomi's stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Monday or whatever. Oh, he's seeing his dead daughter.
Why?
Because he's hallucinating.
Somebody killed Master Chief's daughter.
No, it's not Master Chief talking. The captain.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
The captain's daughter died.
I think she died. I don't remember. Or maybe she's in a sequel. I don't remember. Like I said, I play Halo once in a blue moon.
You feel the Star Fox remake is okay. You still... Star Fox remake is okay. I still like Star Fox 64 and Star Fox for Super Nintendo. Those were the best Star Fox, the Cinema Storms.
Well, Star Fox, I liked the new game. What would have made the new game better is that the voice actors did a better job. The problem is, we've lost a lot of our American identity with this whole global nonsense. And what made Star Fox 64 better is the American actors did not do the voice acting the way the Japanese did. The Japanese were very calm and collective and stuff because that's how Japanese are. Americans were very boisterous and arrogant and, you know, cocky. So the voice acting for Star Fox 64 had a lot of cheese and action and excitement. And the way that the voice actors basically did the new game is they followed the Japanese way of doing it, which again is a completely different culture than ours. We're American. We're supposed to be, you know, very
yeah, we are
dramatic.
Sort of dramatic and flamboyant.
No, I wouldn't use the word flamboyant.
Well,
we're very dramatic.
Yeah.
Dramatic and intense.
We have a lot of energy and excitement.
Yeah.
What we say.
So incorporating Japanese sensibilities with, you know, American dialogue doesn't work. So Star Fox would have been a lot better had the American actors actually been able to act like Americans.
Yeah, the voice acting was the #1 problem. I mean, from me watching it, I didn't like that. Oh, it was frustrating.
Is it just...
Yeah, they were like pretending to be Japanese when
they weren't pretending to be Japanese. Like I said, Japanese are very calm and collective, and, you know, when they go into battle and stuff like that, they're not very expressive, they're not very excited, they're just very calm and collective, and that's how they are.
Yeah.
They're, you know, it's like Spirit of the Samurai stuff. But for flight combat sim games, that doesn't work for English voice acting. Like, people expect a certain type of, you know, quality to the acting, especially if it's a very exciting aspect of the game. So for the most part, the voice actors are just very bland and, you know, they're just talking normal, and that's not how, you know, pilots speak when they're engaged in a dogfight. They get very, you know, we'll say tempers run hot, and, you know, people's emotions are all over the place because it's a do or die situation. I never once felt any adrenaline or any excitement playing the Star Fox game. It was just very, very basic. You know, it could have been better. And the same thing with, I remember the original Halo game being more exciting than this. It looks great, it plays great, but it's just missing that, I don't know, Halo
Yeah.
It doesn't quite have the spark. It's fun. And, you know, but it's very typical of, like, 2020's gaming.
It's like a lot of modern voice acting when they do remakes. I feel like they're not putting their heart and soul into the voices. Like, they're just speaking the lines.
Yeah, it's just speaking the lines, getting a paycheck, and, you know, it is what it is. I still prefer, I think the best time that we had for gaming was the 2000s. I don't think the 2020s is a really good time for gaming. The 2000s is when gaming peaked, basically, and it's just kind of still doing the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah. Jotaro says the Beast of Reincarnation comes out on the 3rd/4th.
Okay.
Alright, thank you, Jotaro.
We appreciate
really
that, Jotaro.
Appreciate that. Cinema Storm says everything went politically correct, and then that hurt games now, in my opinion. Says Cinema Storms.
Not everything is politically correct, though. Gaming is going back to being non-PC because they're sick of PC people. But, you know, we won't really see the effects of that for, like, another probably, like, 3 years or something like that. people started to reject political correctness in gaming, I'd say around 2023, and we're starting to see some of that, but the big studios and stuff and a couple indie games still kind of stuck in that old way of doing things. But most of the games in development now are going back to how they were in 2015. That's why in 2027 you're going to see a lot of, like, we'll say 2015 style games with aesthetics, meaning they're really going to push the graphical capabilities, jiggle physics, beautiful women, funnier dialogue, non-apologetic dialogue. People just, you know, probably be a lot more swearing again, things like that.
Oh, okay.
And anime has completely rejected Western globalization, so they're done.
Jack is saying,
One sec.
Chief? Chief,
How do we free you?
it's not him. Not anymore. The captain, he's one of them. We can't let the Flood get off this ring. You know what he'd expect. What he'd want us to do. It's done. I have the code. We should go.
Yeah, Master Chief kills people.
Alert! I'm detecting multiple Covenant and Flood groups approaching the bridge.
Yeah, but, I mean, what's her name? Master Chief's AI
We
assistant
need to
becomes
get
a bad
back to
guy
the
in one of the
Pillar of
games.
Autumn. Let's go back to the shuttle bay.
I mean,
and
she's
find
not
Rod.
human.
yeah, I thought she goes rogue, but
Yeah,
no,
she goes rogue and then she goes back to normal in the game after or something. I don't know.
yeah, I think that was the last one they did was the one where she's normal again or something.
Yeah, I think it was a PG-13 game they made or something like that. She was normal.
I think I maybe I'm wrong about this, but I thought that Master Chief was supposed to destroy her, but he didn't because he didn't want to kill her. Or something. I don't know. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember. Thanks for the interesting facts about Catherine.
Yeah, Catherine's in the next game.
Catherine in the next game, Jack. I'm sorry. I get all the characters confused.
Nuts! I hate that stupid space sword thing.
Final Fantasy XIV comes to the Switch 2 on the 4th, says Joe Turo.
Yeah, we can't do Final Fantasy XIV.
Thanks, Joe Turo. I heard the voice actors from Japan had to audition for the Nintendo and Sega characters back in the day. Says Daffy. What?
I don't know. But if you play Star Fox 64 in Japanese, they have a very different way of doing the dialogue that if you're Japanese, you might think is kind of cool. If you've played Star Fox 64 in English, you just prefer playing the English one because it's more exciting. So, what... I feel like if the woke movement never happened, when they redid Star Fox 64 for the Switch 2, let's say the pandemic era never happened, we would have had a really exciting Star Fox remake.
I agree, because we would have had Even if the Japanese people put pressure on us to be like, oh, do it
No,
this
no,
way.
they didn't. The Japanese people didn't put pressure. Like,
Oh,
consultant
well,
groups
why
put pressure.
did they do that? That's so stupid.
Because Japanese people were listening to consultant agencies and other things. They're not anymore, but they were for a time because they were trying to play ball with Americans because they thought all Americans had gone nuts with political correctness. Which we all haven't. It was just like...
It's like the people that are the most adamant about it are...
Well, now it's like we treat them exactly how they are. They're toddlers. Basically, the best way to describe activists is they're basically like the vegans of the late 90s, where one, they had to always tell us that they were vegan, and two, they would cause a fuss. No, I'm serious. They would cause a fuss if a piece of meat or something ended up on their plate, and we would never hear the end of it. Game activists and woke people, if there wasn't diversity, if there wasn't any type of like DEI or whatever, they would complain about it. They would harass the developer, and they're essentially just throwing a tantrum all the time. And for a while, people listened to them because their tantrums were annoying. And, you know, the problem with when you listen to somebody that's throwing a tantrum, though, is they're kind of like a cat. When a cat meows all the time and it gets its way, that's what the cat is going to keep doing. So, eventually, it took 7 years, but we started to put our foot down and realize these people are nuts. But it also took the game industry to lose billions of dollars before they realized, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore.
Oh, okay. Oops. I'll screenshot those games that are coming out. Jotaro and Zach. Thank you. Mortal Shell to Elder Scrolls 4. Sounds like a lot of remakes, though.
Of course there's a lot of remakes. You tend to get remakes when games have been around 20 years. Like, when a certain game releases 20 years later, it gets a remake. Why do you think we're getting a Sands of Time remake from Prince of Persia? It's because it was 20 years ago.
I thought the remake was going to be horrible.
Probably.
You're not gonna make it.
We'll make it.
I...
Pull up! Pull up!
Such a cool character. Master Chief is kind of like the strong, silent type, like, Samus, but he only talks when he needs
You
to.
did that on purpose, didn't you?
There must have been something wrong with the coordinate data.
Yeah.
And he speaks very matter-of-fact.
Yeah, he is cool.
We need to get to the bridge. From there, we
I
can
mean,
initiate
I
an
agree
overload of
with,
the ship's fusion engines. The explosion should damage enough systems below it to destroy
Like,
the
some
ring.
people in the chat were saying they felt Cortana was cuter in the original.
She was cuter in the original, but, I mean...
I mean, I do think they could have done a better job on her face, like, character model, but...
Dang
I don't know,
it!
maybe they were just not trying or something, I don't know.
No, I mean...
It feels like they purposely... They probably made a
need to
very
get to the
pretty
bridge.
face, and then they
From there, we can
purposely
initiate
messed it
an
up just a
overload of the
little
ship's
bit.
fusion
Look,
engines.
I'm
The explosion
gonna
should
tell
damage
you this
enough
straight.
systems below it to destroy the ring.
The face for Cortana is not as bad as it could have been. If this game released in 2024 or 2023, she would have been ugly. They are making baby steps. It is not... I don't think you understand the damage activists did and how long it's going to take to fix things. You know, it's little by little. It's not going to be like a drastic, you know, everything is fixed. Like, okay, let's reload a save state. It takes time. You are seeing... This is what makes me different than other drama channels. I can see that they are trying and that they're improving little by little. You know? It's...
I mean, it could have been... I mean, we've seen worse...
We have seen worse.
Character model faces.
And I'm being completely honest that it's getting a little better. Is it still a little weird sometimes? Yes, but it wasn't possible to release a brand new Dead or Alive because of the activists. And now, because basically activism is dead and so many people are fired and they quit and they left the internet because they lost, gaming is healing, as they say. You would have never gotten bathing suits and healings. You have to take... It's a war. You have to take the victories from every battle you win. The war is still ongoing, but we're winning more ground and gaining more ground than we're losing ground.
Yeah, it's like a war. It's like a war. Of
It is a war.
Ideas.
It's a
Or
clash of
philosophy.
two ideals: common sense and non-common sense. And common sense, you can never truly defeat.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
like,
beat it up for a while, but you can't ever defeat common
like-
sense because
like,
it's common sense.
I feel like whoever wanted, I mean, just thinking about it, if there was a room of people and they had to vote, like, hey, do you want Cortana to be pretty or not pretty? I feel like everybody who actually is playing the game would want her to look pretty.
No, see, you're mistaken about one thing. This is a misconception too. They did not vote and they did not compromise for changing video games. The human resources and the consultant agencies were responsible for making characters look ugly and gender neutral and all this other stuff. They did not listen to the artist or the developers making anything. They just did it. Basically, human resources was in charge of the game industry. Every company had to do what human resources said. There's going to be entire documentaries about this in the next 10 years. It was a horrible, horrible time.
That would make me upset. Like, say I made a really pretty character model for Cortana and she looked really pretty, and then they were like, no, that's not okay. You have to change. You have to make her mouth wider. You have to make her teeth stick out a little bit more. You have to make her chin look a little bit weird. There, now that's fine. Take away her eyelashes. Okay.
There was no compromise.
That's what I don't like. That would make me upset if they made me change my character model, if I already made her look good.
Well, of course. And if you said anything, you got fired. You know, it was a very volatile time in the game industry. It lasted for 7 years, 2019 until probably around 2024, 2025. You know, but we started to see big changes once Final Fantasy's sequel failed because Japan blamed the West. And then Japan fired a bunch of people at Square Europe and Square America. And they're still calling the financial failure of Final Fantasy VII's second game, the remake, they're blaming woke people for it. And they're right. Because Japan, you know, Japan is very polite. They want to play ball with people and they want to be nice. But also at the same time, you have to realize that when they do that, they're also gauging the situation. So they were paying attention to everything that was happening, and they gave that side everything they wanted for the new game. All the inclusion, all the diversity, all the blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And then when it failed, who did Japan blame? They blamed the woke crowd. And not only did they blame them, but they fired a lot of them. And then other Japanese studios were watching what Square did, and then they cut ties with consultant agencies, and then they fired people. And, you know, there were some good people that lost their jobs, but, you know.
Yeah, but let me just explain, like, something, like, for people saying, like, oh, I'm fine with whatever, it doesn't really matter to me what the character models look like.
It does matter.
Imagine, like, if you... The problem is, like, the activists will always push for their way, and so if gamers become very agreeable and are like, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm fine with whatever, then you'll never get anything that you ever really want in a game, because they'll keep pushing it further and further and further towards really bad games. It kind of reminds me of, like, people that never stand up for themselves, like, for what they want, like with their favorite kind of pizza. Like, every time someone orders pizza, they're just like, it's fine, I don't really need to tell people what my favorite kind of pizza is. But then they never have their favorite kind of pizza because everyone just walks all over them and they never get to order the flavor they want. And I think gamers should be allowed to say what they want. They should be able to say it, because otherwise we'll never get it. They'll just keep pushing more and more. They'll be like, well, you were fine eating anchovies last time because you didn't say anything. It's like, well, I mean, I didn't say anything. I was trying to be agreeable. But the problem is they don't care. They don't see that. They don't see that as compromise. They see that as weakness, and then they walk all over you.
Again, you people aren't understanding. There was no compromising with them because they wouldn't allow even a conversation to happen. Like, they wouldn't take into account what gamers wanted. They wouldn't take into account what the developers wanted. HR told them, it has to be this, or you're fired. Like, you have to make this character look like this, It doesn't matter if people are upset about it. You know, we're in control. And there are lots of horror stories from game developers talking about this stuff now because those people aren't in power anymore. Why do you think all this stuff is happening with basically the game industry going back to how it was like 10 years ago? It's because we won. If we hadn't won, then every game that released would have butt-ugly women. They would have gender-neutral men, non-masculine heroes, all kinds of stuff. Everything is going back to how it was because Japan wants to make money again. And Western studios, if they want to make money, they have to fall in line with what Japan wants. If they don't, then they're going to go out of business. And the gamers are going to fall in line with the company that does what they want. So lots of gamers are very happy buying Japanese products again because they're getting exactly what they want. And what they, you know, especially if it's a mature game.
Yeah, I mean, it's my personal opinion, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but basically, I feel like with Mary Jane and Spider-Man, I feel like she, you know, they changed her personality a little bit, and everyone was sort of fine with it. It's like, okay, this is fine. Like, Mary Jane's bossing Peter around a little bit. Okay, I guess I'm fine with this. And then, instead of them just keeping it like that, like, oh, okay, she's decently pretty, but she's a little bossy, we're gonna keep it like that. They didn't. They just pushed it even worse for the next game and made it even more so. So that's why I worry about them giving them even an inch, because then they just make it even worse the next time.
Well, I mean, you have to remember, there's still some compromised companies that are never, they're eventually going to go out of business. Insomniac, if it doesn't change, and Project, whatever, if they don't change and they, you know, keep ignoring their install base and keep fighting with people, they're going to go out of business, but someone better will take their place. Like, there's a whole movement for people to go back to how things were, and the ones that are still fighting for the losing side, they're going to go out of business. That's just what happens in war.
Yeah.
I leave home for a few days and look what happens. This won't take long. There. That should give us enough time to make it to a lifeboat and put some distance between ourselves and Halo before the detonation.
I'm afraid that's out of the question. Really?
Oh, hell.
Ridiculous! That you would imbue a warship's AI with such a wealth of knowledge. Weren't you worried it might be captured or destroyed?
He's in my data arrays. A local tab?
You can't imagine how exciting this is. To have a record of all our lost time. Human history is fascinating. Oh, how I will enjoy every moment of its categorization. To think you would destroy this installation, as well as this record. I am shocked. Almost too shocked for words.
He stopped the self-destruct sequence.
Why do you continue to fight us, Reclaimer? You cannot win. Give us the construct, and I will endeavor to make your death relatively painless. And
At least I still have control over the comm channels.
Where is he?
I'm detecting taps throughout the ship. Sentinels, most likely. As for the monitor, he's in engineering. He must be trying to take the core offline. Even if I could get the countdown restarted, I don't know what to do.
How much firepower would you need to crack one of the engine shields?
Not much. A well-placed grenade, perhaps. But why... Okay, I'm coming with you. Chief, Sentinels. Transfer me back to your suit. You need to go.
Yeah, I don't think you guys understand like how bad it was. It wasn't like a for 40 years in the game industry, game developers and artists and all these other people would compromise and work together, and they would make stuff that they wanted. Imagine for basically like the last 7 years, everything that you want to do, you're not allowed to do it because it might offend somebody. And so these groups had like an ironclad grip like on the throat of the game industry. And it looked like everybody fell in line. Japan started to follow all that other stuff a little bit during the pandemic because they were under the impression that's what Americans wanted. Because here's the core difference how they were able to basically fool Japan. Okay? In Japan, consultant agencies, they don't represent minority groups. Consultant agencies represent gamers' opinions. It's basically like, have you ever had somebody come to your house or ever get an email asking you to fill out like some type of form asking your opinion on something? So in Japan and Asia, consultant agencies basically talk to gamers and groups, and, you know, then they go back to the developer and they say, hey, we talked to 100 different people, and this is what people want to see. They want to see this type of content. They said they prefer attractive characters, they prefer more action, they like sci-fi, they like fantasy. That's what consultant groups are supposed to do. Now, in America and the West, these really bad consultant agencies lied to Japan and said that they spoke for all Americans. And all Americans want DEI and inclusion and, you know, gay stuff and all this other stuff. So they lied to Japan, and Japan took them at face value. And they were like, what harm could it have? So instead of a group that was representing gamers, which Japan thought that was what happened, they listened to it because they basically poll gamers all the time and ask them. Look at Capcom Japan. They talk to gamers all the time on different forum sites and, you know, through Famitsu magazine, all kinds of stuff. Polling is very important. It's an important part of how games are done in Japan. It's how they ask people questions and things like that. Americans took advantage of Japan's generosity and, you know, their kindness and, you know, what they thought everybody wanted of their games, and the 1% for 7 years had a death grip on the game industry. So yes, it was a big problem. Because we as gamers didn't actually have a say. And Japan thought we did. It was like a takeover, a hostile takeover. And it only happened because of the pandemic, because these groups did not have the type of power they gathered until 2020 and 2021. And they were responsible for bullying campaigns, cancel culture, all kinds of stuff. Doxing, swatting. Not good people. All they wanted to do was push their ideals. They didn't care about the game industry. They were very upset that gamers started to fight back against them. So, when I was saying things like, you know, it's important that Japan is doing that, no offense, but Western countries didn't have a backbone anymore. I hate to say it, but it's true. Western countries basically let all these agencies and groups and people tell them what to do, and they just stopped making the games that they wanted to because they were worried about getting in trouble with these different groups. And these groups did do nasty things. There are horror stories of developers being, like, targeted and beat up and, you know, like, their families being doxxed and things like that if they didn't fall in line. These consultant groups were basically like mini Gestapos. They were very, very bad, and they didn't care. It was a dark time for our industry, and when more people have courage like I do, they'll talk about it a lot more. Because it needs to have videos made, it needs to have video essays, it needs to have documentaries. This stuff can't just be ignored. It happened, yeah, but you can't just be like, well, it was just a weird time. No, it was a terrible time in the industry, and it almost destroyed the game industry. Because the game industry is all about community and having fun. And it turned into, like, this really nasty thing. It basically turned into how politics are today. It's very, very bad. It wasn't just, like, a difference of opinion. You had a certain group that was steamrolling everything and not listening to the opinion of other people. That's not progress. That's fascism. Silencing the majority so that a few people can have voices that weren't even gamers was a very stupid idea. It needs to be ridiculed. It needs to be made fun of. It can never happen again. And what you have to understand about society is all it takes is one group or one people to stand up to evil thinking for more people to stand up and fight. You know? And theirs is a very warped, dangerous ideology that needs to be crushed. Like Nazism. It's bad. You don't want to give it room to breathe. You know? Very, 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 very bad time. And, you know, I told people in 2019, it's dark now, but common sense will eventually win in the end. And I was right. You can't defeat common sense. Because every person has common sense. It's instilled in our DNA. We know the difference between right and wrong, and eventually, when things go too crazy, we stand up to it. But, you know, if Japan didn't say, hey, this is crazy and we need to stop this, I'm sorry, but other Western countries would not have jumped in. Because they'd be too worried about, you know, what's going to happen to them. They just wanted to keep their head down in the foxhole, you know? So I wasn't trying to be mean to Western studios saying that they're going to make games like Japanese now. That's not what I was saying at all. I was saying that Japan needed to take a firm stance for them to have enough courage to be like, okay, well, Japan is doing this, so we're going to follow Japan in this. That's what I was talking about. It's not that every game is going to be like anime-based or, you know, Japanese takeover or something like that. It has to do with people having courage to stand up for what's right and decent again. And Japan is kind of leading that, is what I mean.
I heard what you...
Well, no, there was some people in the chat saying, well, I mean, Western countries, blah, blah, blah. It's like they're their own game studios. That's not what I was saying.
But they don't represent Western values. Their game studios are not representing Western gamers. Is the problem.
Well, they are again, or they're starting to.
They're not represent. No one represents. Japanese people have people to represent Japanese gamers, but Western people did not for the last 10 years.
See, your guys' generation is a little bit different than ours. In the 90s, if like somebody tries to bully people to get their way, we don't see that as a person who's crying out for everything to be fair. We see that as a bully.
Yeah.
And the only way you deal with a bully is to crush them.
You can't yell at people and threaten their families to change the game how you want. I mean, that just shows that you were, like, say, even if you started in a good way, like maybe you didn't like violence in games, or maybe you didn't like, you know, babies portrayed a certain way in games or whatever, and you're trying to push for certain things, but you start calling people, getting them fired, start stalking them after work, start getting people at the jobs fired, start doxing them, start DDoSing them on their streams of their indie games, start DDoSing people that are disagreeing on YouTube, start putting smear campaigns on Reddit. All this stuff is what they were doing, and literally hosting actual conferences that were recorded saying how to hack people's websites that disagree with you. That's what these people were doing. So even if you started with something positive in the beginning, which they did not, everything they started was negative, but even if it was positive, their methods were literally bordered on criminal. They should all be in jail. Like, all of the game activists should be in prison.
Yep.
They literally cost people their jobs. They threaten people with violence, which is a criminal act.
Yep.
They DDoS people's websites and hacked people's websites, got people's websites taken down, which is a criminal act. They threatened violence on people. They also they smeared campaign people.
You said that.
I'm just letting you know that that's also a criminal act. That's libel and, you know, slander. So, you know, you can't say that it was okay that the game activists were shouting and wanting their way. You're literally defending criminals. Mm-hmm. And you cannot say that game activists represent Western gaming.
They don't.
That's like saying that the prisoners in the United States represent, you know, a normal U.S. citizen. These are game activists. They're not even gamers.
Correct.
So they don't represent... They represent people that hate gamers. They hate people that are saying, I'm fine with this in the chat, they probably, if they found out the games you played and they got to know you, they would tell you that they actually hate you because you are a gamer and you enjoy games. You're not understanding. They don't like you because you like games. That's the whole thing. You can't be nice to people that hate you for no reason.
Yeah.
You're falling into their trap because they're deceiving you to think that they aren't misrepresented. They aren't, they haven't been hurt by anyone. They're lying because they're bullies and they're trying to get their way. They're not in any way like underrepresented or anything. They have fine representation. There was nothing wrong before they came in. They completely lied for 10 years, stalked people, got them fired.
I don't think it was 10 years, it was 7.
I mean, they are criminals and they are bullies. They are not underrepresented people.
So like I said, our generation deals with bullies different than you guys, for the most part. Like, we don't allow bullying to happen, and the reason why I was one of the first people to stand up for all this is because, well, I have a sense of justice and honor and things like that, and I don't like seeing evil people get their way, which is why I became a target. It's because I just couldn't let, I just couldn't be like, oh, okay, this is just how it is now. It's like, no way. Because if it stays like this, it's going to get worse. So we had to do something about it. And I'm glad that, I'm glad gamers did stand up to them because it was important. Because you want to know why it was good? When the gamers stood up to those people, then the anime fans saw what was going on in their world of anime, and then they stood up. And then once the fans started to stand up to the weirdos that were hijacking anime, then the creators and the manga artists were like, hey, wait a second. Yeah, this is not right. We don't want this. So, like I said, it just takes one person sometimes to create, like, a massive, awakening for people. So, I'm proud of what I did because I stood up for common sense. I stood up for, decency over degeneracy. And, I would do it again in a heartbeat. Because that's what God would want me to do. And, my belief in superheroes and stuff like that, that's probably also what the catalyst for me was as well, is because, I saw something really bad happening that wasn't the normal, and I heard horror stories from other game developers and stuff like that, and it was like, alright, this is not right. More people need to be talking about this, because if nobody talks about it, they're just going to keep getting their way. So, the reason why the game industry works the way it does is because in the past, we all used to compromise. We all used to, be like a smorgasbord of ideas. And things that were too radical and, shook the boat too much, we didn't include in games. Or we made them in a specific genre where that stuff and those conversations would be acceptable. But we would not allow that stuff in mainstream products because it doesn't belong there. There's a saying that we had in the 90s, too. There's a time and a place for everything. But that's pretty much everything that happened. I mean, there was more, but it's good that things are changing. But I think that people are misunderstanding that everything is going to go back to normal, like, overnight. No. That'll never happen. Like, it's going to be a process that you'll see probably by 2030. I think everything should be relatively how you remember it if you were a gamer in the early 2000s or the mid 2000s, where, certain things weren't added into games and stuff like that.
Engine room located. We're here. Don't worry, I have access.
And those
to
of you
all
that
the
were actually
reactor
gamers in the
schematics
early
and procedures.
2000s,
I'll walk
you
you
might be
through it.
seeing some stuff now, like if you
First,
really
we
look
need to
for it.
pull back the exhaust couplings.
Because there's
That
some
will
evidence,
expose a
like Dead or
shaft
Alive
that
and
leads
stuff
to the
like that.
primary fusion drive core.
Yeah, the pendulum is swinging back little by little. But, people don't really have a lot of patience. Like, they expect everything to happen immediately. Because even the takeover of the game industry wasn't immediate. It was a slow progression. It started in 2019-ish, and then it kept getting more and more momentum. It never would have gotten the momentum it had if it wasn't for the pandemic, though. Because they played on people's fears and insecurities, and that's how they were able to get so much power. And a lot of people were worried about, you know, going into work and stuff like that, and those people would just go in and whatever. So a lot of good people lost their jobs because of cowardice and, you know, some other things, and they allowed bad people to get in positions of power. And had the industry not, you know, did what it did during the pandemic, and HR, like, doing all these weird TikTok ideals and stuff like that, you probably wouldn't have seen as much as you saw over the past, like, 7 years. A lot of it had to do with everybody being locked up in their own homes and, you know, stuck on the internet. Because before, our society was very different. What you're seeing right now is it was kind of dictated by what was happening on the internet. And nowadays, like, it goes back to there's internet life and then there's life offline. And life offline took kind of like a little bit of a backseat to, you know, online rhetoric and stuff like that. But now that more people are back at work and they're going to school and they have their lives and their jobs and they're not, like, constantly plugged in, which is a term we used in the 90s, meaning that you were, like, plugged into current events and what was happening online and all this other stuff, you're more concerned about the things that are happening around your area, you know, locally or with your friends and your job and stuff. And you don't really care about the bigger picture of the online stuff. And these TikTokers and these other people that were taking over the game industry, they used what was happening with the pandemic to seize power. And like I said, someday there needs to be, like, an extensive documentary so people can learn from this and so that it never happens again. Because there are certain groups that don't deserve to have any type of power because power will corrupt them even more than they already are. If they're already nuts, if they get too much power, they're going to be even crazier. It's a scientific fact.
Use an explosive.
Plus, we also have the evidence to back that
If you
up.
run out of explosives, there is an armory station located near the engine room's entrance.
What's left to do? Neutralize what? Aw, snap. Excuse me. Yeah, but like I said, I don't agree with every YouTuber and stuff like that. Everybody says that everything is going to be either much better or it's going to be much worse. If anything, what you need to hope for is that things are going to go back to being kind of 50-50. Because I think that's when the game industry works the best, when people work together and they compromise. So, and obviously there was some compromise with what happened with the Fortnite bathing suits thing, and I think that's good. They allowed it, and, you know, they probably should have done stuff like that before. Like, as long as things don't get too crazy, I don't see a problem. Neutralize. How do I neutralize that? Expose cores and destroy them with a grenade. Oh! Can I throw a grenade in there? I might be able to make that. Or not. I'm... Did it go in? No. What about now? I don't think that thing is open!
Use an explosive. I recommend a grenade or rocket. If you run out of explosives, there is...
Well, I mean, you know, the problem is, basically, what happens when another side loses is what they do is they act like they didn't do anything bad. That way they can get power again. So what YouTubers need to be doing right now, especially if they are news YouTubers, is they need to be making documentaries talking about the bad things Sweet Baby did, and, you know, that way another group or agency like that doesn't come back. Because if you don't learn from history, which, I mean, I hope this is something they still teach you guys, you are doomed to repeat it. You have to learn from your past mistakes in order to not make future mistakes like that. I mean, as humans, you're always going to make mistakes, but for the really bad ideologies and the really bad, like, you know, ways of thinking and bullying and things like that, those things need to be taught, so those types of things can never be allowed. You know? There also needs to be, like, some type of, like, accountability against PR groups, too. Like, human resources shouldn't be able to dictate everyone that works at a job. They're just supposed to be the people that hire people. You know? It's supposed to be the management and the other people that are responsible for firing people and for dealing with a lot of company problems. And they were letting human resources in the game industry handle way more things than, you know, they were supposed to. It's just not, it's not right. And I'm sure most of you guys have jobs and stuff, so you understand how the chain of command works, but HR, everybody makes fun of human resources because it's not a fun job, but they're not supposed to be like the CEOs of the company. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they have a role to play, definitely, but they can't dictate how things are done. That's just not right. Called human resources for a reason. It has to do with hiring practices and things like that. Not dictating, you know, who gets to work there and all that other stuff. Okay, so that's, can I blow that up now? I'm not very good shot at that. Did they give it to me? Haha! Awesome! Okay, I didn't even hit that. Alright. Oh, that works. I didn't even come close to that. That was not like shooting womp rats back home. That was nowhere close to it. Nope, 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 nope. Fire? Yeah! Now we're talking. Oh, whoops. No, 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 no. I don't want to do that, no. Stop shooting me! No! Yeah, I die a lot. And I'm like talking about everything that happened that needs to be studied, like for business reasons and stuff like that. Like G4 is a huge example of they had such an easy brand, and like marketing companies need to study the downfall of G4, because G4 catered to the mob and they went out of business. Like, they thought that they could virtual signal and they could do all this other stuff. They literally went out of business. Hundreds of people lost their jobs. And they completely destroyed their brand. Like, G4 can never come back. Like, even 10 years from now. Like, the thing that people don't understand about gamers, we are petty, we don't forgive people, and we don't forget. Like, in order to appease gamers, you kind of have to meet us halfway, as well as we watch you, and we see if you are, you know, actually sorry about what you did, and you're trying to make amends, like make a better game, or make better policies, or whatever. If you're not, it's like, we're not going to give you our money because we don't trust you. It's, you know, it's an easy group to make money on, But also, it's a hard group to make money on if you do things wrong. That's what makes us we're a very picky group, but in a good way. We also give people a lot of chances, too. Which is why the indie scene does so well, is because, you know, gamers are always looking for a really cool new game to play. And we, you know, we're not too picky if it's 2D or 3D or an RPG or an action game. As long as the game is fun and is good, you know, it doesn't have to have flashy graphics to be an amazing game. We give the developer the benefit of the doubt, and we say, here's our money. However, if they make a bad game, we tell them, don't they? If they make something really bad, gamers are very vocal. Nah.
Use an explosive. I recommend a grenade.
So it's like a...
If you run out of explosives...
It's kind of like a double-edged sword, like being a gamer. When we love you, we really love you. And when we hate you, we really hate you. There's no real middle ground. So it can be a good thing or a bad thing. What game activists realized is that they didn't like us and we hated them. So we were never going to get along and, you know, skip off into the sunset. It was destroy one or destroy the other. You know? You can't compromise with them. When we tried to compromise, they wouldn't. And so basically when diplomacy has failed, then you have to annihilate your enemy. It's mean, but I mean, that's how the game industry is. It's a cutthroat business. Survival of the fittest. They call it the game industry for a reason. They have to make money. Ow. But, you know, people think that gamers are all nice people. It's not necessarily that we're mean. It's just we have certain expectations. You know what I mean? I need to get up higher so I can throw my grenades again. Yep. Move it. That's a lawn dart, but I might get it. Nope. That got it.
Keep it up. Only
Okay, get away from me!
Use an explosive. I recommend a grenade or
Now, I can't tell if these guys are constantly respawning or what. But it feels like they're constantly coming back even though I killed them. So I'm just trying to get away from them, I guess. Both the annoying flying droids and the flood keep respawning. All I'm trying to do is blow up those things so I can, you know, get out of here. It's not really working well for me. I'll get it, though. Not too worried about it. But yeah, I really hope that more people, you know, start to talk about it from a historical point of view. Because it can't just be swept under the rug, because then in 10 or 15 years, mark my words, it'll happen again. You have to stamp out evil. I know I'm obsessed with superheroes and stuff, but it's important to make sure that, you know, bad stuff doesn't happen again. And the only way that you can prevent that is you have to talk about it. You have to be like, hey, this happened, this was wrong, and we need to come up with ways of not letting this happen again. That's all. Problem is, people just don't want to talk about it. They're like, oh. Was it really bad? Yes. Whoop. Okay, I can't jump up there, can I? Stop that. Do they keep coming back?
Surrender the construct to me, or I will be forced to take you offline permanently.
I feel like they keep coming back.
Keep it up. Only one more fusion reactor to go.
Which is why this is getting really irritating. More flood. No. Yeah, these guys weren't here last time. Yeah, they do keep respawning. That's the problem I'm having. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know how to fight them. There's too many. I kill one group and it's like, oh yeah, I got done with those guys. Nope. They're back. Well, of course, I mean, the thing is, with the truth is not fun. The truth is not supposed to be fun. Learning about the, you know, what happened with World War II, and learning about the Vietnam War, or learning about, you know, anything that is a factual event is not fun. I mean, sometimes history can be fun, but history is intense. Bad things happened in history, right? But you can't just be completely dismissive of it and be like, yeah, you know, I don't want to talk about this because it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's like, it's important to talk about it so you learn from it. And people shy away from knowledge. That's the problem. My generation didn't shy away from knowledge. Like, we study and we learn and stuff like that. Because it's kind of how we're supposed to do it. Truth hurts. Yeah. Truth is not your friend. Truth is something that you have to experience and have to learn about. And the funny thing is, the truth will never change. A lie, you can always warp it and change it to make it more comfortable for people to listen to. And right now, those activists are on damage control. So they try to spin that, like, what really happened, that they were bullied and game developers weren't listening to them, so they had to be more forceful. They're saying all kinds of nonsense because they're trying to gather sympathy so they can try it again when they have more people that are willing to listen to them. But I don't think the world will ever be fully locked up again to the point where people will be, like, you know, glued to their TVs and their computers the way they were, you know, in the early 2020s. It's not going to happen again. They're also going to find steps and ways for people to go to work if there's ever, like, everybody's shut down. I just killed all these things and they're all back. See, that's irritating. I don't know how I'll ever get past that, and I don't want to lower the difficulty, but they keep respawning. Not only do they keep coming back, but the annoying, whatchamacallit, the flying robots keep returning too. So it's like, it's a stalemate that doesn't go away. Like, I got them all, and I can't kill that guy. He's the one who keeps respawning everything.
You must surrender the construct
See?
so that we may return to our appointed task.
That's it. The engine's gone critical. Based
Like,
on the
I
current rate
can't
of
keep
pace,
doing
have
this.
15 minutes to get off the ship.
Cortana to Echo 419. Come in, Echo 419.
Roger, Cortana. I read you 5 by 5.
The Pillar of Autumn's engines are going critical, Sohammer. Request immediate extraction. Approach the crash site and be ready to pick us up at External Access Junction 4C as soon as you get my signal.
Affirmative.
Out of my way.
Going on station.
See, that's sections of games I don't like, is when you're forced to do something that seems impossible. And they make it more irritating as you go. Where are you? Did you burn yourself in the fire? Good. What? Isn't this where I was supposed to be? Thank you.
419 to Cortana. Things are getting noisy down there. Everything okay?
Negative. Negative. We have a wildcat destabilization of the ship's fusion core. The engines must have sustained more damage than we thought.
Well, see, here's the thing. The difference between us and activists is gamers, there are millions of us around the world. And most gamers don't like global trends in their games. Because each game is supposed to be about something to do with the game that they're in. The games in the 90s and the 2000s and the 80s were basically their own separate universes, and there might have been some similarities with like cities being destroyed or whatever, but for the most part, it was all like everything had its own story or its own things that they needed to worry about. And the problem with those activist people is that they were adamantly trying, oh no, to make everything be like it is now. When, you know, the best stories are ones that focus on the world that you're in because it makes it immersive, right? When you come home from work, I guarantee you don't want to pop on a favorite video game and be reminded about how much the world sucks. You probably were stuck listening to that on the radio or having your favorite song interrupted or whatever. So imagine how gamers felt when these activists were basically trying to politicize everything 24/7. Every game we played, every game news that came out, every movie, every TV show. Eventually, people start twitching and they explode. They're like, enough's enough. I'm happy that gamers were the ones that said enough is enough. Because we did it, then the anime people did it. And my hope is one day the comic book people will get their hobby back. I don't think they will, though. I think, unfortunately, comic book fans are too far gone. So it took, you know, anime fans and gamers to basically make the world go back to normal. Which is funny because, I'll tell you the irony in that, American society sees gamers as the villains. Like, we've been portrayed as villains in media, like, for decades. That we're all hot-headed and that we're going to be responsible for doing violence and we have terrible social skills and they're always picking fun at us, but yet we were the ones who basically brought the world back to common sense. The woke era lost because of gamers and anime fans, and that's really funny. Because we were supposed to be the dregs of society, according to them. Always making 60 minutes things on us and always saying how video games are bad for you, and you know. I just love the irony in it. That the only people that stood up to the craziness of the pandemic were gamers. It's funny. I think that's really cool. As a gamer especially, I thought that was awesome. Because you would never think that essentially society sees us as a group of misfits that are losers, and yet we were the ones who were like, hey, this is wrong what's happening with society. You guys need to, you know, straighten up. And the only reason we did it is because they attacked our hobby. Ha! That's awesome. We came together to protect something that we loved, which is awesome.
Hold position here.
Cortana to Echo 419. Request extraction now. On the double.
I'll always be proud of my fellow gamers, because I think that's really cool. Am I supposed to jump off this? I don't think I was supposed to jump off that. Nope. I don't think I was supposed to do that. Good times, good times. I'm ready for any directions you guys want to give. Because I don't remember this section. Oh, crap. Look. I think we're close to the end, but I don't remember. we get to the checkpoint and then the counter keeps going. Like, see, we made it to the objective
Wait,
marker.
stop. This is where Fohammer is coming to pick us up. Hold position here.
Cortana to Echo 419. Request
Unless this is
extraction
supposed to be
now.
the
On
extraction
double.
point.
Affirmative, Cortana. Bullhammer inbound.
Yeah, da 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 da.
I'm hit! Mayday! Mayday! Airport weapons are shot to hell! I can't pull her! I can't hold on!
Well, so much for that thing.
Echo 419. She's gone. Calculating alternate escape route. Ship's inventory shows one longsword fighter is still docked in Launch Base 7. If we move now, we can make it.
But you see where people get some of the similarities with Metroid, right? Have you noticed at the end of most Metroid games, you have to escape before everything is going to explode? So, I like that Halo borrows from lots of sci-fi things, but the Metroid nods is, like, very evident, you know? Although, Samus doesn't have a vehicle to help her escape in. Master Chief has the Warthog. So it's kind of like, you're just driving around as everything's exploding around you. Oh, you punker. No. I would leave if I were you. Everything's gonna blow up. Oh, snap. Yoink, 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 yoink. Drive, fool, drive! How do you guys feel about the driving mechanic in this? Do you think it's any better than the 2001 game? Or do you think it's still just as bad? Driving still feels really off to me in this. Especially when we've had, you know, such an improvement with vehicles and games over the past, like, 25 years. This definitely feels like I'm playing a game from the year 2001.
Jump!
Crap! Was I supposed to... I think this is right. I can't tell. I need a light down here. Everything's really hard to see. One minute left. I don't think we're gonna make it. It's gonna be very close. Shoot!
That's the ship. Move! We need to get aboard
I'm
now.
trying to get aboard! They put all these obstacles and crap! Oh, that's it. 1 minute. Ah! I'm not gonna make it. Oh man, really cutting it close here.
We're cutting it close.
Here we go.
Shut them down. We'll need them later.
Did anyone else make it?
Scanning. No. Just dust and echoes. We're all that's left. We did what we had to do. For Earth. An entire Covenant armada obliterated, and the Flood. We had no choice. Halo. It's finished.
No. I think we're just getting started.
Anytime the credits want to roll. There we go. Yep, the credits roll. That means we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, grandparents of all ages. With that, another Let's Play is complete. Thanks so much for hanging out with the Halo series. We lasted, I don't know, 4 or 5 episodes. A remake of the 2001 game. It's okay. I had fun with it. I wish the voice acting was a little bit more oomph to it. It felt like the 2001 game was more fun, and I don't know, most games in the 2000s were just more fun. There was energy and excitement, and remakes today, they feel like very cinematic in approach, but they're missing that zing that we once had. You know, it feels like like a corporatized version of what Halo was. Halo was a game that incorporated so many cool sci-fi elements from like the 90s and the 80s and different games and stuff like that, and it was like a smorgasbord of everything that you loved about sci-fi. People actually thought I wasn't going to beat this game? Come on. Of course I was going to beat it. Those of you that believed in me, you're the real ones. I'm just teasing. And people can give me, like, rag on me a little bit. Did I do very well in the game? No. But I never changed the difficulty. We did not play this on journalist mode. That's a big win. And I had fun. That's the important thing. Would I recommend this game to people? Maybe. But if you could, you know, deal with the graphical capabilities of the early 2000s, I think you would find the Halo 1 game kind of fun, especially like the voice acting and all this other stuff. Definitely sells it more. Everybody here, for like a high stakes thing where there was barely any survivors, I never really had a sense of dread playing as Master Chief. Like, when people died and when people were upset and worried about things, they didn't really emphasize that. It was just everybody was just kind of chill. Even when they were being, like, eaten by the Flood or having their brains taken over, it just wasn't... It didn't have that same flair, you know? But I think for 2026 gaming, it's pretty good. I never really spoke a lot with the soldiers, so I can't really relate to people complaining about, like, the female NPC stuff and the annoying female bosses. I didn't stick around with my platoon. Everybody's going to play this game different. I went off on my own because Master Chief is an army of one. So I didn't really get to know the soldiers, and I don't really know about the complaints or the viral videos that are happening with this game because I didn't experience it. If I would have experienced it, I probably would have talked about it. But every gamer plays the game their own way. That's what makes gaming so unique and different than any other type of media. Is you're in control of the character. That means you can pace yourself, you can speed run it, you can go in guns a-blazing, you can try to do stealth. You know, everybody has their own gaming, like, fingerprint. Mine is a mixture of when I get really anxious and I want to get out of something, I run away. Like, I speed through a level, I don't do a lot of fighting, I hide, I survive. If I'm in a bad mood, then I go in and, you know, Rambo style. But it all depends. So my experience with the game is not the same as everybody else's. So take my opinion with a grain of salt when it comes to the game. I did like it, but I think I had more fun with the 2001 game because I played that when it came out, and it was a big deal. But I was always more of a Metroid fan than Halo, because Halo just kind of felt like, hey, can I borrow your homework? And Nintendo and other people are like, yeah, just don't copy it too much. It's got elements of Starship Troopers. It's got elements of Metroid. It's got elements of Doom with the guy being all green. It's got elements of Aliens, Predator. It's like, it used to be the ultimate, like, frat boy game. Like, it had everything, right? And it's good that it exists, but for me, the sci-fi franchise that I personally appreciate more is Metroid. I think Metroid is more unique, and the fact that it's a female protagonist, and you know, she goes through all this stuff, and she's essentially always on her own. Master Chief usually hangs out with a group of Marines, and then he's the sole survivor at the end. You know, it's a different thing. I'm more of a Nintendo guy at heart too, so. But for you Xbox fans, you've liked Master Chief for like, what, 25 years? Something like that. So maybe you owe it to yourself to try out the remake or pop in. I'm sure you can play the original on Xbox, right? Is it impossible or something? The more you experience something, that's how you see the truth for yourself. Yeah, I guess so, but like how I always did game reviews, like I would tell people, this is my point of view, this is what I think about the game, this is what I gave it, and then I'd ask people in the comments, what did you think about this game? Because I reviewed a popular game that you guys might have a different spin on, and I'm not a fan of this particular franchise. I have played them, and I think they're cool, but if anyone hasn't played Halo, is interesting and experience it just to play the remaster of the original, this is one of those most useless remakes ever. Ouch! Silver Sonic, yeah. If I wasn't so bad at FPS games, I probably could give you, like, more intricate, like, you know, how the hit counter works and all that other stuff, or hitboxes, but I don't know anything about FPS games because I play them once in a while. They're not really my cup of tea. I'm an RPG guy. I like fantasy games. I like fighting games a lot. So like big, you know, big scale third or first person shooters aren't really my thing. I do play them because I like all types of game genres. I play a variety, but I'm not an expert when it comes to FPS. I've probably only played like 25 FPS games in my life, and most of them are all mainstream, like Duke Nukem, Serious Sam, Halo, Doom, Wolfenstein, Quake, Half-Life, things like that. GoldenEye. So, you know, I just have a very casual approach to FPS games. Oh, Medal of Honor, Call of Duty. I did play the World War II Medal of Honor and Call of Duty games. I played a lot on GameCube, Xbox, and PS2. So, I did do those. They did the Master Chief Collection remaster about 5 years ago, so this was a bit pointless. Maybe they're bringing a new Halo or something, so they wanted to, you know, wanted to go about that. Yeah, I would agree with that, Silver Sonic. Good graphics don't necessarily make a great game. That's true. Everyone has their own spin about stuff with that. I'm very thankful that we as a gaming nation moved away from the prejudice of 2D and like over 3D games. Because remember, what used to happen is a console would come out, it'd be 8-bit NES, then it goes 16-bit, then you had 32-bit, then 64, then 128, then whatever PS3 was, and people always had like this disdain for what came before. And no one was really making 2D games anymore. And then in the I'd say early to mid 2000s, especially with the Game Boy Advance, we got brand new 2D games. And people's mindset was like, hey, we can have both 3D and 2D games. And that kind of brought a resurgence of bringing 2D back, which I think at heart, I'm more of a 2D gamer. I like that. I like the animation styles, and I love sprite animation and things like that. So 2D games are always something I love looking at. And I personally, really enjoy those. But I'm glad we moved past the mindset of this came before and this isn't good anymore, so I need to get rid of this and get the next new thing. Gaming has evolved to the point where you can enjoy both traditional 2D gaming, or you can do like more 3D cinematic. And that's great. So I don't have to pick and choose anymore, But there was a time where it was very unacceptable to be playing older games instead of the newer systems. So it's really awesome that we don't have to really worry about that anymore, because we have indie games and we have all kinds of stuff. But there was a time in our history, in gaming history, that was a thing. Just so you know, I lived it. I was in secret still playing retro games before the retro thing really took hold of gaming again. By like 2005, like if you replayed old systems, you were kind of a weenie. So I was secretly a weenie because I still enjoyed my Super Nintendo from time to time when everybody was playing the N64 and the PlayStation or the PS2 or something. And I think a lot of that is because of Game Boy Advance. Well, there you go. These are really long credits. They had a ton of people work on this. And they have a lot of bugs they need to fix. But you want to know what the buggiest game of the year award goes to? Sword Art Online Echoes of Einkrad. That is the buggiest game I played in 2026. It's riddled with bugs. Halo was a little buggy, but it wasn't that bad. I beat it. You saw me play Batman? Fun fact, Halo did after credit scenes before. I love games because someone who doesn't care for graphics versus someone who does have different experience. Same goes for genre. No one will play the exact same. I know, that's what's great about games. Because think about it this way. You can read a book, you can watch a movie, and you might interpret things and have different feelings for something, but you can't control the outcome of what you're reading or watching. A video game is a transformative thing that you can pretty much forge your own way of doing it. Like, if I want to run around and punch people in an FPS, I can do it. Will I die? Probably. But I can still go about and do that if I want to. In a Batman game, I can choose a stealth route of, sneaking up behind people, or I can go up and punch them in the face and get in trouble and get shot at and jump over them and things like that. There's a lot of variety in gaming that other, genres, or not other genres, other types of entertainment don't have. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about gaming, is because, gaming is supposed to be something that is accessible to everybody with certain conditions, Like, one group is not allowed to control it for everyone, and that's why I fought up against the activists, it was life or death, is because they were a group of people that wanted to change it forever and get rid of and chastise what came before it. Like, I would prefer a 50-50, or even, if they just stuck to their specialty genres, which there are lots of gaming genres. You're okay, honey. I'm amazed how long these credits are. These credits have been rolling for 20 minutes already. Of course I was going to beat the game. I just thought I would beat it yesterday. I'm stubborn. I always, there are some games I've never beaten on this channel that I did rage quit. But my track record, I think, out of the majority of the games that I cover, I do complete about 85% of them, 88%. And when I mean complete them, I don't mean 100%. I mean I finished the story. There's been a handful of games on this channel that have never been finished, and I don't know if they ever will be. Like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I do not like that game. That game... Yeah, nobody was watching that game, and that game made you go through a lot of hoops in order to beat it. I don't like where games require you, in order to progress the story, you have to do a bunch of side content. I feel like that's entrapment or something. That's not what I signed up for in an RPG. If I do the story, that's one thing. If I want to do side quests, that's supposed to be optional. So that's why I didn't like Tokyo Mirage Sessions. And there was a couple 2D ninja games that I couldn't beat because they were just wicked hard. And I didn't want to lower the difficulty because I had too much pride. That's my problem. I have a lot of ego. Yeah, please don't spoil the Spider-Man movie. It just came out. We don't want to have that happen. How is this a cinematic? It says this is a cinematic? Skip cinematic. Well, I want to see if there's a teaser at the end. Can I skip? Halo always has teasers for what's next. I would play a Halo 2 remake or something. You did co-op and replayed with your nephew the Halo multiplayer thing? That's cool. So, I'm sorry, honey. What do you want to do? Okay. Yeah, it's important to air that out. Don't... I didn't spoil anything. I haven't even seen the Spider-Man movie. I can't spoil anything. I can speculate about the role of the redhead. She's probably Jean or whatever. But I don't really care though. I think it would be a travesty not to have her be Mary Jane or something, because whatever. Also, the X-Men are supposed to be older than Spider-Man. They're not supposed to be the same age. Somebody was talking about pizza. I'm gonna have a slice of pizza, I think. I can skip the cutscenes? God bless you, hero. Alright. Good. Let's get out of this long ending credits. This is gonna put me to sleep. Bless you, sir. You saved me probably 25 more minutes of whatever that was. Well, the music was awesome. There we go! Alright, that's the end for Halo. Okay, guys, so our next new series will be the Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. That'll be all this week. Yay, I completed on normal. Yay for me. Thank you, Xbox, for being nice to me. We'll also be finishing SAO, because SAO needs to be finished, and then I'm uninstalling the game and downloading the movie. I don't think I'll be looking at the other floors of SAO. Tonight, I think we're going to do Sonic, because I kind of feel like doing a racing game. I don't want to get into another freaky action-adventure epic tonight. So I'll save the SAO finale for tomorrow. I think a lot of people want me to race with them and play the Ninja Turtles thing, so I'm probably going to do that. But make sure you guys show up for that. If I only see 20 people there, well, the music's running while I'm eating my dinner, I'm going to play something else, because I'm not going to sit there for 3 hours waiting for that to happen, okay? If you want to help the Sonic stream, you can Super Chat or become a member. That really does help speed up the view process. But I had fun hanging out with you guys and hope to see you on the next one. God bless, happy gaming, all that good stuff. Please subscribe. And I will see you on Sonic the Hedgehog coming up next. Yoink.